In today's episode, we're diving into a real kitchen disaster. Picture a New York restaurant on the edge of failure with a kitchen full of problems. Can Gordon Ramsay save the day? Join us as we look at one of the most dramatic turnarounds on kitchen nightmares. You've got to see it to believe it. Nestled in the heart of Manhattan, Dillons presented itself as a unique blend, an Irish-American restaurant with an Indian twist. Sounds interesting, right? But despite its promising concept and prime location, Dillons was far from thriving. The place was in deep trouble. Customers were scarce, the staff was lost in a management maze, and the restaurant's financial health was in a free fall. With mounting losses and a confused identity, Dillons was a ticking time bomb, desperately in need of a turnaround. Enter Gordon Ramsay, a chef known for turning culinary nightmares into dreams. When Ramsay stepped into Dillons, he was met with chaos and confusion. The vibe? More muddled than the menu itself. Ramsay, with his keen eye for detail and no-nonsense attitude, quickly picked up on the lack of direction and the palpable tension in the air. Dillons was clearly a challenge, even for a seasoned pro like him. Gordon's first taste of Dillons food was, to put it mildly, a disaster. He started with a vegetarian sampler, which to everyone's surprise included meat. Talk about getting the basics wrong. Next up was beef, or at least that's what the menu claimed. Turns out it was pork, a mix-up that left Ramsay scratching his head. And the salmon? It was so unappealing that it seemed to wave a white flag of culinary surrender. Each dish was a clear sign. Dillons' kitchen was in deep trouble, serving confusion on a plate. At the heart of Dillons' troubles were its three managers, Martin, Andrew, and Con. This trio wasn't exactly a dream team. Martin, the general manager, was more of a mystery guest than a leader. Andrew, juggling operations, seemed to be everywhere but nowhere effective. And Con? Well, he was often just missing in action. Their roles overlapped and clashed like mismatched ingredients in a recipe. The staff caught in this whirlwind of confusion. It was clear. Too many cooks in the management kitchen were spoiling more than just the broth. Dillons' financial situation was like a sinking ship. The numbers told a grim tale, losses mounting between $20,000 to $30,000 each month. That's the kind of cash drain that can turn any restaurant owner's hair gray overnight. Muhammad, the man behind Dillons, was watching his dream turn into a financial nightmare. Out of options and desperate for a lifeline, he made the call that could change everything. He reached out to Gordon Ramsay for help. It was a Hail Mary move, hoping that Ramsay's expertise could stop the financial bleeding. Gordon Ramsay's kitchen inspection at Dillons was like opening Pandora's box, only worse. He discovered a kitchen that had probably never heard the word clean. From rotten chunks of meat to spoiled potatoes, it was a parade. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, Ramsay ventured into the basement. This wasn't just a storage space. It was a breeding ground for everything a kitchen should never have. Cockroaches, rats, you name it. It was clear that Dillons' problems weren't just about taste and management. After the shocking discovery, Ramsay led a major cleanup operation. It was all hands on deck as the team scrubbed and sanitized every inch of Dillons. The kitchen transformed from a health hazard to a spotless space. But Ramsay didn't stop there. He knew a clean kitchen alone wouldn't save Dillons. So he introduced a bold new idea, a contemporary Indian menu. This wasn't just about adding a few new dishes. It was a complete culinary overhaul. The goal? To give Dillons a fresh identity and a fighting chance in the competitive New York food scene. Relaunch night at Dillons, now Purnima, was buzzing with anticipation. But the road was bumpy at first. Orders got mixed up, the kitchen felt the heat, and there was a bit of chaos. Then, out of nowhere, Con stepped up. This guy, who seemed to be just part of the background, suddenly became the star of the show. He took charge, bringing some much-needed order to the frenzy. The guests? They started to notice the change. Smiles appeared as they tasted the new dishes. The fresh ambience and the revamped menu were hits. It was a glimmer of hope for Purnima. After the cameras left, Purnima enjoyed a brief moment in the sun. The restaurant, with its new look and menu, started to attract more customers. Reviews were coming in, mostly positive. It seemed like Ramsay's magic had worked. But as with many stories, there was no fairy tale ending. Despite the initial success, Purnima eventually closed its doors in 2009. Why? Speculations ranged from tough competition to high prices, but the exact reason remained a bit of a mystery. It was a tough break, especially considering the effort and hope invested in the revival of this once struggling eatery. And there we have it, a tale of ups and downs, a struggling restaurant that got a chance to shine, thanks to Gordon Ramsay. But as we saw, not all makeovers have a fairy tale ending. What do you think about this? Do you believe these big changes can save a restaurant in the long run? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you liked this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more stories like this. Thanks for watching.